Hello, you guys. It's nice to see you here. My name is Carly Johnson. I'm a little bit nervous because I usually do these types of trainings only in my specific team page with people that I already know and they already know me and how quirky I can be, and it's a comfortable, safe space. But I was preparing this kind of just like a little reminder for my team and something I've been feeling really strongly about lately for them, and I felt like our industry as a whole needs to hear this message. So I thought I would do it on my private page, make it a little more shareable, and hopefully other people can find benefit from this as well, and be able to kind of just enjoy the message that I'm going to share with you today. So today I wanted to talk about being a tortoise in an industry that praises the hare. So I've been with my direct marketing company, direct sales company, for a little over a year, and it did not take me long to realize, and I'm sure everybody in this profession knows, that we love to talk about the hares in the industry. We love the story of the girl that signs up 100 people in 6 months. We love the story of the individuals that get to the top of their company in 4 months and, are making thousands of dollars right out of the gate. And those are super fun. They're super exciting. I love those stories too. They're motivating, they're inspiring. But at the same time, so few of us are going to be hares in the industry. And sometimes it can do us a great disservice if that's all we're focusing on, and if that's the only things that we're hearing at our company conventions is praise for these people that do it fast, do it quick, and do it big. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. If that is you and that is your story, that is fantastic for you. I am so happy for you. That's amazing. If you are probably any more like me, just kind of a normal, typical mom that never saw, a network marketing in her future, you probably are going to have a much different story. So I'm going to talk to those people today. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about being a tortoise and 5 things to remember, 5 things when it gets tough and you feel like you're moving too slow and the hares start running past you and you're wondering if the tortoise pace is even worth keeping up and keeping going and being consistent with. So 5 things to remember when you're feeling like a tortoise in an industry that praises the hare. Number 1, we do not all start on the same level when we join our company. So what this means is we don't all start on the same playing field. I know sometimes in our companies we like to say, like, we all start at the same rank, we all start at ground zero, we all start here on the same level. Though that's true, there's a whole lot of life that happens before us joining our direct sales company or our network marketing company and putting ourselves out there that determines really where we start when we start our business. So one of my favorite podcasters to listen to is Bob Heilig. He is amazing. That's a different story. But he had a quote in one of his podcasts lately that really resonated with me. He said, what did he say? You are either going to reap the rewards or pay the price of the life that you've lived prior to joining your network marketing business. And that is so true. He's a wise man, and so you are either going to start reaping the rewards and paying off, cashing in on the awesome, generous, kind, helpful, loving, bubbly person you were before your network marketing business, or you're going to pay the price for the negative, political, whiny, complaining, just generally negative person that you may have been before you started doing this type of a business. Were you a giver or a taker? Were you present on social media, or were you nowhere to be found? A lot of these people that we look at and say, oh my gosh, she took off out of nowhere. She came out of the gates running. How on earth did she do that? She probably was cultivating relationships and friendships and building trust and had a lot of people that liked, knew, and trusted her before she ever said, I really love this product, you should try it too. So you can't look at those stories and think it's going to be the same for you. You need to stop and evaluate where you were and who you were before you decided to become part of a direct sales business. So I personally, this is true confessions here, I was such an MLM naysayer. And I even had like some posts on Facebook that was like, listen ladies, like if I want your mascara, if I want to wrap myself skinny, if I want your workouts, like, I will come to you. Like, I know where you are. I know how to find you. You're all over my feed. Like, I'll come to you. So I had been that person and had been pretty vocal about some of those feelings of mine. And so, of course, as soon as I started getting involved in a company, I'm sure people looked at my post and was like, okay, pot calling the kettle black, you know, like, this is a little interesting. So, like, I have been paying the price, and I have been fixing that presence and genuinely doing it, you know, just kind of changing the way I'm interacting and the way I'm present and the way that I'm doing things. And that's okay. Like, it is okay that I had to do that. It took me a while to understand that it was okay that I had to do that, but it is a great thing. And just because you kind of start at different levels because of who you were before your company doesn't mean that you can't regain that ground and catch up to those people. It's just a little more work, but that is totally fine. You can do it. Okay, number 2. We do not all have the same story and the same why behind our business. So when I first signed up with my company, it was really fresh to like network marketing. They had just released their program. And I had, you know, been that woman that was kind of a naysayer, but I had watched a lot of women in my network and in my realm, and men too, build some great income and some fun businesses, and they looked like they were having a lot of fun. And when I started using like the products that I am a part of, I was like, you know what, this is so new, this is so great. If I can't beat them, I might as well join them. And I kind of signed up with that attitude, and guess how far it got me in the beginning? Not very far. My why wasn't very strong. It was kind of a like, I might as well try it. Show that in contrast with one of like, there's a woman on part of like our big team that I adore, and her why is amazing. So she basically, her why is if she doesn't succeed with her company, then she's homeless and so are her kids and they starve. I think that has a lot more power and a lot more drive behind it and a lot more to get her going than my, if you can't beat them, join them, I guess, type of a why. So you have to know that different people have different motives, and that's okay. It's okay if someone has a huge why that just propels them forward. It's okay if your why is still developing. And that's another point that is so important. Your why can develop, and you can cultivate it, and it can grow with you and with your business. And I'm happy to report that my why has changed so much. I'm happy to say that my why is now all about helping other women regain confidence that they so desperately deserve and need. And it's also about me showing my sons that their mom is a strong woman that can follow her dreams and still be mom, and that because I became a mom doesn't mean I have to let my ambitions go to the wayside. So don't be afraid to cultivate your why, but know that the why really has an effect and an ability to push people further or even hold them back. If your why isn't very big, then you're not going to give it your all. So work on your why if that's what you need to do. Number 3, I totally have notes, you guys, because I don't want to miss any good stuff. Let's see. Oh, wait. Back to number 2 real quick. Your why and getting there and everything. Just something to keep in mind is my why, a huge part of my why is balance, keeping balance in my home and keeping harmony with my home, with my husband, with my kids, not spending so much time on my business that those other things become less important and move down my priority list. So whatever your priorities are and what your life is saying you need to do, that's up to you. Just keep it in check, because you don't want to rush to the top of a company to get there and not have any of your loved ones with you, or to get there and have, you know, your husbands be so disconnected from you that like, why does the money even matter if those relationships suffer? So that's my little plug. Keep the balance. I'm all about that. Number 3, progress is progress. Progress is progress. Even if it's at a snail's pace, it is progress, and you need to own that. The only person you need to be comparing your progress to is yourself. It is so easy to look to the side, look in the other lanes, see what everybody else is doing, and get discouraged. You need to focus on your own progress. But you know what? There are people in your company that are looking at you, jealous of your progress, even though you don't think it's fast enough. So I have a friend in my company that is what I like to call my sign-up twin. So she and I signed up on the exact same day. We're on sister lines, but we totally know who each other are, and we have a lot of fun together. I think that's a street cleaner. Can you hear it? So she and I signed up on the exact same day, and I like to joke that we're twins, but she's like the super advanced one, and I'm like the slow one that did not get any of the skills or abilities. And she came out running, and I am like still crawling, but I'm still getting there. And though I can joke about it with her, it was a little deflating in the beginning to say, oh my gosh, she and I signed up on the same day, and she's already at the top of the comp plan, and I'm still in the middle. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why can't I get it? You know, we're both smart, we're both fun, we're both whatever. We have a lot of similarities actually, but she is just so much faster than me, and that's okay. It is okay. And I could have gotten very hung up on her moving faster than me and looking to the side and looking at everybody else's progress but my own. But I did for a while, and I really suffered, and my business kind of was stagnant. But then I got to a place where I realized growth is growth, and I'm going to do it at my pace and keep balance in my life the way it needs to be. So last year, let me give you an example. Last year at our company convention, I had one person on my team there with me. One person. I think 2 people total on my entire team. Fast forward 1 year later at our company convention we just had, I had 20 girls on my team that came. And, you know, I mean, it's our team. They are definitely so much more the team than I am, but they were there, and they were there with me, and it was amazing. And could you imagine if I had looked to the side 6 months before and been so discouraged that this other girl was getting so much further, so much faster than me, and been like, what is the point? What is the point? I'm still, you know, in the bottom tier of the comp plan. I still only have 10 people on my team. She's got, I don't even know how many, like 200, like, I'm just done. I'm done. It's done. I would have given up, and I would not have seen this incredible growth that happened in 1 year of small, consistent showing up. So 1 year, look around, be patient, and stop comparing your speed to other people's, because it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are steadily growing, and you will get there. Okay, so number 4. Your company might be too new to see tortoises crossing the finish line. So I had mentioned earlier that my company was really new, and that's kind of why I signed up in general. And this is all I really knew as far as any sort of direct sales, network marketing went. And all I knew was my company and my realm. And basically, since it was so new, the only people crossing the finish line and getting to the big ranks had done it at lightning speed, like lightning speed. Anybody that's at the top of our company has done it in under 18 months, which is insane, you guys. Insane in the membrane. But this is all that we had to look at. And this is all that I had to look around and compare myself to and say, am I even on the path to success? Am I really ever going to get there at this slower pace that is doable and keeps harmony in my home? Is it worth it? So I went to the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing back in February, I think it was February, in Las Vegas. April? Maybe it was April. I don't know. This spring in April. And it was incredible for me because we were, I was surrounded by a bunch of women from different companies and different industries, and I was able to see tortoises from other companies that had made it. There were women that were on that stage presenting that were multi-million-dollar earners that took 8 years to get through their comp plan. And that was incredible to me because all I had to look around for perspective at that point was people that had only been there a year. And so for me to see someone that took 8 years to get there and she still did it, that's really inspiring because I'm not a 1 year multi-million-dollar kind of pace girl, and that is okay. So just remember that, like, if you feel like you don't have any tortoises that you can look around and compare yourself to, maybe you need to look outside of your company for some inspiration and some motivation, and just know that it can be done, and it is totally worth it. Which brings me to my 5th and final point. This is like the icing on the cake for me. This is like what reminds me every day, like, it is worth it. Do it every day. Show up. Help people, help them build their businesses, build your own, because it is worth it. So, number 5, even if you are a tortoise in this industry and it takes you 5+ years to make it to the top of your company. Even every slow and steady step that you take along the way will be 100% worth it. And this is why. So I did some math, I crunched some numbers, and let me give you a little perspective here. So my husband is an attorney, and he spent 7 years after high school, 7 years studying, doing his bachelor's and then going 3 more years to law school. 7 years. This man spent 7 years and roughly like $170,000 on tuition alone, for his education, for his career, for his job profession, for the income that he makes now. 7 years, $170,000 of debt to become an attorney. Like, let's focus that on now this industry and direct sales and multi-level marketing and the type of businesses we can build over time. I looked at my comp plan and I crunched a bunch of numbers, and this will probably be very similar to your comp plan. This is just mine, so this is what I know. I did a lot of complicated math and I want to share what I discovered with you. So even if I only rank advance once a year in my company, and I'm doing much faster than that, but even if I only do it, well, not much faster, that's a relative term. I'm not a hare, remember, I'm a tortoise. Slow and steady tortoise. If I only rank advance once a year within my company for the next 8 years, which would get me to the top position of my compensation plan, and even if only each person on my team, if I had bare minimum requirements for sales volumes, people on my team, all of the things. So this is like a super, super, super insanely conservative number. If that happens in 8 years, I will be making $110,000 annually in 8 years. Bare minimum, insanely conservative number. But in contrast to my husband's law degree that he spent 7 years to get there and $170,000 of debt to get him a law degree that says he can practice law, if I spend 8 years slowly going through my comp plan and I get to the top of my company, I'll make $110,000 annually at that position. And over that 8 years that it took me to get to that place, I will have made over $233,000 along the way. That is basically a $400,000 swing if you consider the debt that my husband put in to get to his career. So I think that we got a pretty good gig here. Not a bad position and job and way of life for a tortoise. So just remember that we're doing things, and it's going to take time to build something that really matters, and that something that's going to be sustainable and duplicatable, and that other people are going to want to do. You don't ever want people to look at you and say, oh my gosh, her life is out of whack. All she ever does is post about her business. That's all I ever see her do. She's always on her phone. Does she even know who her children are anymore? They're not going to look to you and be like, oh, sign me up for that. That sounds great. So don't be afraid to be a tortoise and show people that this industry can be done by anyone, and we can do it with balance, and we can do it with grace, and we can do it with dignity, and we can do it in a way that's sustainable and duplicatable, and that can really just be perpetuated for so many other people to enjoy. So I hope that you guys just know that when you get discouraged in your direct sales company, because we all do, we all get discouraged, we all take our eyes off our lane and look over at what Susie's doing, and Susie just signed up 6 months ago, and Susie's making $100,000, and what on earth is Susie doing? Stop looking at Susie, focus on yourself, focus on your pace and your progress and your growth, and as long as you are growing, you will get there. And when you get there, it will be so worth it, and you will be making really great money for your family. You're going to do it in a way that is something you can be proud of and that you can want other people to jump on board with. And just remember that slow and steady does win the race. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard that book a lot of times, and the outcome is always the same. So don't be afraid to be a tortoise, and get out there and build your dreams, even if it's at a tortoise pace. See ya.